This is Dabu7. We now have more talk than ever of people going into their bunkers, buying doomsday bunkers, and we are seeing people in large scale make these moves. If you start with Switzerland, Switzerland is prepared to move millions of its people underground into bunker facilities in case of nuclear fallout. We've been hearing a lot of rhetoric surrounding that here lately. It just so happens to be where Klaus Schwab and his buddies are sitting in Switzerland, with what you could say is like the biggest by square foot underground facility to house people anywhere in the world. Millions and millions and millions can just go running underground. They're prepared as they starve off the rest. Now we're seeing some of the prices on these things go through the roof as well. You can see that the plans for just this one here, the Aristocrat here in the background, going for over $8 million. Most people have nowhere near this type of money to get by in a situation like this. So what we've talked about before are the abandoned underground facilities, like the one in Cincinnati, that was going to be an underground train depot and all this other stuff that was never used and just sat there. Things like that in many other cities. And there's underground tunneling systems in places like LA and other large cities that are known. You know, there has to be some kind of plan in terms of avoiding nuclear fallout if you don't have a bunker. Well, as I said before, Switzerland, top of the list of people in places that have these big bunkers, and it's continuing to spread as they're saying that more and more people are running out trying to get these at this moment. We just had a case here in my own state where some nutcase himself was staking out people in the area that had underground bunkers, and then he went in and he shot people. So keep that in mind. I mean, he was just a nut, just watching and paying attention and listening to the locals saying, oh yeah, well, Bob and Mary just built a bunker over there in their big compound behind that fence. Well, you had a nutcase out there making note of it and then going up and capping him because he didn't have it. So just some updated information here on the bunkers. I'm going to go into greater detail on the live stream, dive into some of the prices and some of what the everyday person can do out there in a situation like this that can't afford to get a bunker. So join me for the live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on D-Live and Patriot TV. And hit that subscribe button for more. Much love, y'all.
Were you recently injured in a car accident?
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to YAHAWAH WA YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of YAHAWAH Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson here, man. It says elites flock to doomsday bunkers as World Bank tells peasant class not to store food. This coming famine that they were actually staging to starve you people out in order for you to bow down to the Great Reset, which is another way of the NWO. All right. This is what we've been telling you through the spirit. This is what the prophets have been warning you about week in and week out for X amount of years. And hey, it's coming to the head. All this information that's coming out through these different forecasters, these different bloggers, these different economists. They're going into, different world events, the wars in Ukraine, the economic downturn, okay, the coming of the digital-based systems, cryptocurrencies, etc. And hey, it's all aligning up to Bible prophecy. Then you have us, the prophets, the men of the Lord, on the front lines declaring these things. So therefore, this information is readily available for those of you that can receive it, okay? Because the scriptures say, he that have an ear, let him hear, all right? So if you are taking heed to the message and the warnings that the Lord is giving you through his men, this is a good time to prepare your mind to deal with what's getting ready to come, because any day now, this place is just going to fall, man. And then you're going to have all hell and anarchy breaking loose in the streets of Babylon the Great. All right, we're not even a whole event or a whole crisis away from hell breaking loose. We're literally a half a crisis, if that, a third of a crisis from this shit just hitting the fan. All right, and the elites, they're preparing, man, okay? They're preparing to get up out of here because most of your top bred elites, they're not here in America. Okay, they already in their bunkers. They're underground. They're underwater. They're in the heavens. All right, they're hiding. They're not in the cities. These big CEO, these business owners, these moguls, these trillionaires, they're not in this society living among you people. Okay, they got houses in the mountains. They got underground bunkers, which I believe the cheapest bunker starts at roughly $1 million. It's one of you Jakes got a mill. Okay, or one of you common Jakes. You know, unless you Jay-Z or Kanye West. But even those Jakes among those people, among those rankings, they're not going to get part of the elites pie. Okay, because the elites already found them expendable. They're like, well, look, man, we've gave you your share. We gave you your consolation. Now, hey, it's a double-edged sword. You sold out to us in your own power. Your own God is going to destroy you for selling out to us. So it's a double-edged sword, man. All right. But anyway, it says since the invasion in Ukraine began, manufacturers of doomsday bunkers have seen a massive spike in sales. Right. And this shit, if you brothers was like into investing, or you was investing in stocks, shit, investing in bunkers, you know, or whatever whatever is the highest profiting type investment you can invest in, it probably wouldn't have been a bad idea. Okay, for you to put your stocks in bunkers, because now shit, this is the time to buy, because everybody is cashing out. Because everybody is seeing the shit hit the fan, but you tribes, you don't really see it because you're too busy. You're too flabbergasted by this society. You're too frantic about things bouncing back, and things are not going to bounce back, at least not fully. Okay, they may give you a let up here and there, but overall, the squeeze is on. Okay, Hegelian dialectus, which means pressure from above, pressure from beneath. It says here, manufacturers of doomsday bunkers have seen a massive spike in sales. It says this is typical during any crisis as people wait until the last minute to start preparing. But there's no way you can prepare for this outside of giving your life to YAHAWAH WA YAHAWASHI, because that's the only way you can prepare for this, is giving your life to YAHAWAH WA YAHAWASHI. Nothing more, nothing less, man. All right. If you give your life over to the Lord, then hey, you good. But overall, these people, they ain't thinking about that, man. All right. It says here, it says, what sets this rush towards prepping apart for ones in the past is the fact that the World Bank is warning against such actions, despite many of their elite friends doing exactly that. It says here, during a virtual event hosted by the Washington Post on Monday, World Bank President Davis Malpass told people not to store food or gasoline in spite of the massive spike in prices since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Right, because they're basically telling you people, look, don't hoard shit, which hoarding is not going to do anything because it's just going to make you a bigger target. But basically they're telling you, look, don't do anything. Just sit back. We're going to take care of you. Okay, you sit back and take this Karagma. We're going to take care of you. But overall, the elites of the society, they got all the gold. They got the rubies. They got the resources. Okay, they have everything they need in order to sustain in them bunkers. You think that those bunkers are not highly technical? You think that they're not dealing with the most advanced technology down in those bunkers? Okay, you think they're not dealing with solar panels down there, barium, lithium, all these things, solar power, battery operators, all these things, generators, okay, dealing with mercury, all types of shit to keep their bunkers warm. It's like it's basically like a Morocco underground, man. Like shit underground may be a paradise, okay? Because they giving you a carbon copy up here of what's really down there, but what's down there is way more greater and way more energy sufficient and better. They probably got flying cars under there, man. Who knows how deep they've dug into the earth? But I could tell you this, it's probably something that it's probably out this world, okay? And you people don't bank on that, But it says here, the right thing to do in these current circumstances is not to go out and buy extra flour or gasoline. It's to recognize that the world is a dynamic global economy and will respond. And that's enough to go around, Malpass said. But Malpass' intentions are clear. Don't create fear to further hurt the supply chain, but it is too late for that. And people should definitely be preparing. But in fact, it may be too late. And regardless if they're preparing, the Lord said that, look, hey, he's going to store those riches, or they're just going to prepare those riches and give it to the poor. He that stores up riches, he's basically preparing them for the poor. Okay, and that's in the book of Job, because the elites, they got all our riches. Okay, but it's going to be a transfer of wealth because all the gold, all the silver, all the money, all the energy they've heaped to themselves, all the resources, we're getting that back. Okay, because Esau has discovered new resources, okay, different ways to increase fuel efficiency. Okay, and he's using them to his benefit. But what he don't understand is that the Lord and the Son, YAHAWASHI, is coming to collect that, and he's coming to restore our people. Okay, but it says, while high prices and inflation are being blamed on Russia, it is important to point out that we have been heading in this direction well before the invasion. It says Russia was just an easy scapegoat, which is true. It says, while the president blames high prices on corporate greed, you got fascism, you got what they called, what do you call that? Fuck, I can't think of it now, but it's basically another word for corporate greed. But it says in the Federal Reserve blame supply chains on dysfunction. No one is looking at the elephant in the room, but massive expansion of the money supply and an insane deficit spending, which has reached historical proportion in the last 2 years. It says, sure, Russian sanctions helped tip the scale a bit, but this was coming regardless. Right, that's true. Because, hey, regardless on if they would have invaded or not, this was already in the making. Like Elder Malcolm said, he said they need certain crises, and we've all echoed this statement. They need certain crises in order to hide the true problem, okay? Like the 1-9, okay? They created that in order to disguise what was happening in the monetary or in the economy. They didn't want to tell people that we was just in a flat out collapse, that we wasn't going to bounce back from. So in order to bring in this digital infrastructure, we need to create certain attacks or certain false flags. So that can be the primary reason why the world is shifting over to left-hand fascism, man. Okay, and we've been saying that only thing they need is the perfect crisis. They get the perfect crisis and then X, Y, and Z happens. You see? But it says, but we only need to look at massive price increases across the board over the last year to see it. But that being said, the super rich who have been oblivious for the past several years appear to be in panic mode. And this is the point, and are seeking to find some solace in the form of doomsday bunkers. Right? Because my thing is this, if you were so righteous, why would you have to hide, man? Okay, the Lord, if you were so righteous and you lived lavishly off the planet Earth and you've done right by the people, mainly the Lord's people, you wouldn't have to hide from anybody. But you're hiding. Why? Because you know that you stole basically generations of wealth right underneath the people's noses, man. You stole generations of wealth. People, you stole resources from nations. Okay, you stole life from people, literally. And I'm talking about our people. I don't give a damn about you heathens. But even those heathens have a right to live. I mean, because in our kingdom, they're going to live. I mean, yeah, they're going to get their punishment because it's a balance. They're going to get every ounce of hell that's deserving into them because they were wicked and they're not under the Lord's covenant. But overall, once these nations are let out of their captivities, respectively, they are going to live, man. They're going to enjoy the earth too. Not like us, of course, okay, because they're going to be subjected to our law, statutes, and commandments, and they're going to be underneath us. But hey, they're going to be able to enjoy their lands. They're going to be able to have fresh water, clean air. They're going to be able to enjoy them. They're going to be able to enjoy a life without being overly oppressed or without being unrighteously oppressed, okay? Because we're going to oppress them in a slavery, but once they get out of slavery, we're not going to just oppress them vigorously because we feel like it. If they go off, we're going to deal with them justly, okay? You go off, this is the penalty for breaking the law. You know what I'm saying? Once they get out of their captivity, if they don't go off, then we ain't got no reason to go and crack them upside their fucking heads, man. But in slavery, we just going to flat out beat the shit out of them because they deserve it. All right? But unlike you Edomites, man, you Edomites, you don't deserve that, okay? You don't deserve to have the just dealing. So the Most High is just going to do away with you, okay? Because I mean, it's just to the point, like, you've sealed your coffin, Esau, you know? And for all you so-called Christian, you good Edomites out there, which none of you is really good, but the ones you that's not as worse as the elites, some of you that may have not even had an issue with Jake, which you may be Jake, some of you that generally didn't really have anything against Jake, which is impossible because if you were Edomite, you hate Jake regardless. So I don't even know how I can say that. The ones that probably didn't want slavery in their hearts and shit were probably Jakes. But let's just say if you did have a good Edomite out there, at least one good Edomite, which that's totally impossible, you still got to go in slavery for what your ancestors did, man. Okay? Because even though we all went off as a nation, you still had the righteous men of the Lord that did the right thing, man. Okay? You had the men of the Lord that were prophesying over time, and we still went forth into captivity based on shit Jake did. Look at King David. It says like kings should go into slavery with us. So I mean, everybody gets their just due. All right. But anyway, it says in a recent article from The Sun, who interviewed a large company who caters to rich preppers, since the invasion of Ukraine, doomsday bunker sales have shot up over 1,000%. And he says, typically I'll sell between 2 and 6 shelters a month. Damn, general manager of Rising as Bunkers, Gary Lynch, said to The Sun, but business has increased astronomically over the last few days. Wow. It says Lynch said the Texas-based company can put you in a single-bed bunker or your own property for as little as $39,500. But for the elite, the top-tier bunkers cost upwards of $9 million each. Wow. I said $1 million. It says typically I sell between 2 and 6 shelters a month, and usually winter is a quiet time for us, adding that he sold 5 bunkers the day Russia invaded the Ukraine. Okay, so he got off-grid survival toolkits and etc. But regardless of this, man, this shit is gonna go down. Because look, it says here, telecommunications CEO John Malone owns a total of 2.2 million acres. That's a lot of damn land, with massive amounts in Wyoming and Colorado. It says CNN Ted Turner owns 2 million acres that include land in Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Dakota, all Gadite lands. All right. Most of that was considered Mexico at a point in time, man. All right. But Dakota, those are all Gadite lands. AEG CEO Phillips Ashnot's own, which he sounds like an Amalekite, owns 434,000 acres in Wyoming. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos owns 400,000 acres of land in Texas. And sports mogul Stan Kroenke owns 225,162 acres in the land in Montana. All right. And that's all Gad land, man. Okay. So something's getting ready to happen, man. But you devils, you can hang it up, man, because this is what the scriptures say about you. All right. This is the book of 2 Judges 15. And I'm going to start at verses. Let's start at verses 53. It says, if thou hast not always slain my chosen, exalting the strokes of thy hands, saying over their dead when thou was drunken. That's the spirit of the brother doing the same thing, man. That's the spirit. He doing the same lesson I'm doing it. But it says, and saying over their dead when thou was drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. It says, the reward of thy whoredom should be in thy bosom, therefore should thou receive recompense. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, says Yahawah, even so shall the Most High do unto thee, and should deliver thee into mischief. Right, this coming world's war. This coming Jacob's trouble, because, hey, once this world goes down, once everybody starts to get jacked up, and once the Lord opens up on Jake, you heathens are going to catch hell too. It ain't going to just be Jake getting jacked up. You heathens are going to literally catch hell too, okay, because what you didn't do and for what you did do. And it says here, and the children should die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Because they're going to have children in their bunkers. They're going to take their little nieces, their nephews, their families. That's why the Lord said that, hey, leave not neither branch, leave no nephew, no branch, no any offspring of his kind, because all of you are going head first into slavery. Okay, because the Lord is going to give his men spiritual power, and the angels are going to pop up on you, man. You can't hide from the angels, and that's what they're really hiding from. They're trying to get out of the sight of the Most High. But hey, wherever the Most High, he's everywhere. Okay, the Most High is omnipotent, man. He's everywhere. You think he's everywhere. There's no way you can run from the Most High. It's just impossible, man. So you fucked. And it says, and the city should be broken down, right? And that's the reason why they're gonna retreat to those bunkers and die. It says, and dying shall perish with the sword in the field. And they that be in a mountain should die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Okay, so regardless, man, you may have all that luxuriousness down there. You may have all that nonsense, all the food, all the accolades. But regardless of that, hey, you still gonna get caught up in his judgment, man. Okay, let's look up doomsday bunkers. Doomsday bunkers. Oh, no, that's the show. They even got a show on this shit. It's probably a good show to get into, too, man, just to show you, give you a glimpse of what we going to be dealing with. Because, hey, we going to meet you down in them bunkers, man. We going to catch your ass. I don't think you going to get away. Because, like I said, the Lord, he's going to exalt his men. Okay? Look at this. I don't know if y'all can really see it, but you got level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 through 11. I mean, these people living good down here. All right. They got elevators. They got solar power. And a lot of these things, they're disguisable. Like they can be sitting in the field in plain sight, but you would never see it. We could be walking over bunkers every day out in the open field on a baseball mound. You would never know. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody going to think, okay, well, this is a bunker. Because all the hell and chaos is going to be concentrated to up here in these cities. You see what I'm saying? So the elites, man, and hey, don't think they ain't going to be watching all hell, bro, like in the Purge, man. They showed you that in the first Purge when the NFFA, they saw all the hell breaking loose, but yet they was in their skyscrapers, man, watching everything. Nobody came to the NFFA building. Same thing in the first movie, the very first Purge that came out. That rich dude, I believe his name is Ethan Hawke, which he may be a Jake. All right, but regardless of that, man, in his mansion, he was able to kind of see outside and watch the events that was going down the street. All right, so the elites are going to be literally watching you people go batshit crazy because they got cameras everywhere and they can tap into the satellite feeds, man. So this thing is getting ready to kick off, man. And hey, what's going to really keep them in straits is when they see us get raised up with power. Okay, because once we get that spiritual power, that's really what's going to cause them to really panic, because now they know that the Spirit of the Lord is coming for them. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah 2, and I'm going to start at 7. It says, their land is also full of silver and gold. Neither is there any ends to their treasure. And their land is also full of horses. Neither is there any end of their chariots, right? They're military vehicles. OK, they got planes. They got stealth camouflage. They got B-2 bombers. I mean, they got things that they haven't even bought out the closet yet. You know, like Esau got a meaning when he means pop the trunk on you, man. This ain't talking about no slugs, no shotgun slugs. This man has an arsenal behind him. He has a military. He has a weaponry behind him. This man has missiles. And you ask yourself, how the hell we going to deal with that? We just men that's reading the Bible. Like, how the hell? That means the Lord is going to have to overly power. He's going to have to power us up. Because I don't just see YAHAWAH allowing us to be a fucking slaughter fest, man. I just don't see him allowing us to just go through that. Here we're prophesying, we're speaking boldly, we're doing what we got to do. We're out there week in and week out. And these men get the advantage. And these guys, these elites, they get the advantage. They win in the end. They got the money, they got the power, they got the luxuriousness, they got everything. And yet we just supposed to go out and teach the word and get put to death, right? No. That ain't how power operate, man. Okay, that's totally not balanced. Okay, so something is going to happen, and this is why the elites are retreating, because they know that the Lord's sleeper cells, which is his prophets, will be activated any day now. All right, so hey, brothers, pay attention, man. Pay attention to certain signs. Look around you, and hey, pay attention to how you feel in the spirit, because right now, man, the Lord, he was just telling me, like, look, a lot of brothers are going through lowly things now. We're being humble and we're being brought down because, hey, like Apostle Tahar said it the other day, he said, look, how can you expect to receive glory if you don't deal with the humbleness and the humiliation of being humble first? Because let's just say if the Lord gave us power right now to start doing miracles and throwing fire and shooting lasers and disappearing, man, we'll be boasting right now because we ain't totally purged yet, man. We still got nigga qualities in us, all of us. And that's just the truth be told. So it's got to come a time that the Lord has to totally purify us from our impurities so we can get that power, so we can exalt the Lord, man. Because it's like what Moses do. It's to the point Moses was like, okay, he was stopped giving the Lord credit. But the whole time in the wilderness, it was the angel of the Lord that was allowing Moses to do the miracle, which was YAHAWASHI. Okay, so we got to make sure we don't fall off like that, because we definitely want to partake in the Lord's power. I definitely want to be part of that standard the Lord is going to raise up, man. I definitely want to, I want to be a part of that. I need that shit like water, man. And Salakia, not shit, but I need that power like water. I need it like I need to live, man. I need it. We need it. I want fucking revenge, man. I want my enemies, okay? And it's only right we think that way, okay? We should want revenge, brothers. We should want it on all these niggas out here that have done us wrong, okay? And these heathens, man. And the Lord is going to allow us to get vengeance in his name, because when we get vengeance, he's ultimately getting vengeance, because that's what it's about, okay? Giving him the credit. But even then, among ourselves, we're going to be self-gratified in that, because we're going to be the ones executing the judgment for YAHAWAH, man. That's the beauty of this. Okay. And it says, in their land is also full of idols. And they worship the work of their own hands, right, man? Building up murals, okay, Confederate statues, Robert E. Lee, fucking Jim Crow, okay, Willie Lynch, Colonel Sanders, all these demons, okay, and also the beast system, the juice, okay, you putting momos on a pedestal, momos becoming nomos and mohos and all this other shit, man. That's what Esau is exalting right now, and Jake is following in the same footsteps. And it says here, in that which their own fingers have made, your idols. Okay, you've made men idols. Hence a show called American Idol. It says, and the mean men bow it down, and great men humble themselves. Therefore forgive them not. But enter to the rock and hide thee in the dust, for the fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. And the lofty looks of men should be humbled, and the haughtiness of men should be bowed down, and Yahweh alone should be exalted in that day. The Lord is going to be exalted, man, when these devils and when these heathens get their just due. Because this is going into the end, man. End time prophecy, the future. This is the prophecy. It says, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty. And that's all you people in America, man. All you women, all you Jakes, you celebrities, man. Okay, even from the lowest level demon on a totem pole, they're proud as hell. Proud and haughty, man. Extremely arrogant. Because proud or haughty goes into extremely arrogant. And our women are extremely arrogant. And hey, guess what? You're going to be a big, the Lord is going to take a big amount of his anger and fierce wrath upon you black women. Okay, you Israelite women. And it says, and everyone that is lifted up, and he should be brought low. And upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fence wall. And this is going into your society. This is going into your sororities, man. This is going into everything you've exalted over the Lord. But the Lord is using the cedars of Lebanon, which is trees, okay, because trees represents people. Right now, we're not in the land of Israel, so this represents all your altars, man, all your exalting, your celebrities, everything you've put your faith and trust in. All right. And it says upon every high tower and upon every fence wall, your gated neighborhoods, okay, your businesses, okay, your offices, your places of comfort. And it says, and upon all high mountains, I read that, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all the pleasant pictures, and the loftiness of men should be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men should be made low. And Yahweh alone should be exalted in that day. And the idols he should utterly abolish, and they should go into the holes of the rocks, okay, these are them bunkers, and the caves of the earth, for the fear of Yahweh and for the fear of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. And how he's going to shake the earth? Through this coming famine, okay, through this coming race riots, through these other riots, through this looting, through this Jacob's trouble, okay, through this purge, through this weather events, okay, and ultimately when those ICBM nuclear missiles hit, right along with the chariots, man. Okay, and it says here, and in that day, man should cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship in the moles and to the bets, to go into the clefts of the rocks, because you're going to start, hey, you ain't going to put no faith in your money no more. You don't put your faith in your gods because you realize that your gods have no power. It says to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, okay, those mountain retreats, those mountain resorts. It says, for fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. So cease ye from men whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of? Right, because the Most High is going to rid your ass, man. Okay, you elites, you have no chance. It may be looking bad for us, but overall, it's really looking bad for you, because in your mindset, you're like, man, wait a minute. I can't figure these guys out. They saying this, but they don't look like they look harmless. Like, oh, these little niggas ain't talking about nothing. But, hey, Jake gonna have that thick shit waiting, in the form of the angels. All right? So this is the book of Amos 9:2. It says, though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up into heaven, thence will I bring them down. Right? Okay? Because like you saw that movie Elysium, when the elites of the society escaped the earth because of the mass pollution that they've done in the degradation of the earth. Hey, they went off into Elysium, which was another livable atmosphere right outside of earth. Okay, it was still within Earth's atmosphere, but it was right outside of the Earth's atmosphere. Well, right, it was within Earth's orbit, but it wasn't pretty much ground level. It was like basically a heavenly abode right above the Earth's surface. Okay, and that's what elites, that's what they're planning to make a getaway. But it says here, but although they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight at the bottom of the sea, thence would I command the serpent, and he should bite them. And though they go into captivity before thy enemies, thence would I command the sword, and it shall slay them, and I will set my eyes upon them from evil and not for good. All right. Even though that was talking about Jake, but hey, going into you Edomites, now you're going in slavery. Okay, because hey, who can dig into bunkers? Hey, the angels and the men of the Lord with the spiritual power. Also, who has the ability to go underground? You Edomites, man. Okay, typical Jake working a 9 to 5 can't afford no fucking bunker. A $39,000 bunker, that ain't gonna give him no protection. He been better off buying a house and setting up a storage shed or something, and building his own shit. Okay, because $39,000 1-bedroom bunker. Come on, man. You ain't gonna have no type of, I mean, you may have heat and stuff, but hey, you ain't gonna have a constant food supply in there. But the elites, they gonna have that. Okay, so it's gonna be beautiful, man. But anyway, this is the book of Revelation 16. Matter of fact, it's 6, and I'm gonna end it on this precept real quick. Revelation 6, and I'm gonna do this. What is the New Living? I don't think they have the New Living translation on here. No, they don't have. They have the NIV, but they don't have the New Living translation. Let's see what they say. Yep, saying the same thing. This is the book of Revelation 6, and I'm going to start at verses 13. It says, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Okay, those stars is going into the nuclear missiles, but also when it goes into the elites, like the celebrities and the elites. Okay, but in this case, this is talking about the missiles, and it says shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll, or the heavens receded like a scroll. It says the heavens receded like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain, every island was removed from its place. And the kings of the earth, and the princes, and the generals, and the rich, and the mighty, and everyone else, both slave and free, hid in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains, right? Because the elites, they got servants down there too. And they called to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the greatest date of their wrath and has come, who was able to withstand it. Okay, so hey, man, this shit is getting ready to go down any day now, all right? But I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to YAHAWAH WA YAHAWASHI. And with that, shalom and a baba ball.